The hidden burden of being the strong one. Why the people everyone relies on are often carrying the heaviest emotional load. Hello and welcome to Holistic Heart Counseling. My name is Uzma. Today I want to talk about something that affects many successful professionals, leaders, business owners, parents, carers, and high achievers. Something rarely discussed openly, the hidden burden of being the strong one. Perhaps you are the person everyone calls when there is a problem, the person who remains calm during a crisis, the person who provides solutions, the person who carries responsibility, the dependable one, the resilient one, the capable one. From the outside, people may admire your strength, but what they often fail to see is the emotional cost of constantly being that person. Because strength has a shadow, and many strong people carry invisible burdens that nobody notices. Today's conversation is not about weakness, it's about the emotional price of always appearing strong. As Viktor Frankl once said, what is to give light must endure burning. Many strong people spend years giving light to others while quietly burning themselves out. And if that resonates with you, this conversation may be exactly what you need today. Everyone comes to you. Think about your life for a moment. When somebody is struggling, who they call. When there is conflict in the family, who steps in. When there is pressure at work, who takes responsibility. When someone needs advice, who listens. For many people watching this video, the answer is simple. You. You are the person people rely on. You are the problem solver. You are the stabilizer. You are the emotional shock absorber. And over time, something interesting begins to happen. People become as accustomed to your strength that they stop noticing your humanity. They assume you are fine. They assume you can handle it. They assume you don't need support. The stronger you appear, the less support you often receive. Not because people don't care, but because they believe you don't need it. And eventually, you may find yourself carrying everyone's burdens while carrying your own in silence. The painful reality is this: many strong people are surrounded by people who appreciate them, yet very few truly understand them. The strong one identity. Being strong is not a personality trait, it is often a role developed through life experience. Sometimes this role develops in childhood. Perhaps you were the responsible child, the mature child, the helper, the peacemaker, the one who learned very early that other people needed you. You discovered that being useful felt safer than being vulnerable. You learned to suppress your own needs, to prioritize everyone else. And over time, strength stopped being something you did. It became who you were. Within the strong outside, empty inside framework, we call this pattern the strong one identity. It describes the tendency to become the person everyone relies on while gradually disconnecting from your own emotional needs. Psychologists sometimes call this role based identity. The danger is that once strength becomes your identity, asking for help can begin to feel uncomfortable, even threatening, because you start believing, um, I must always be the strong one. I must always cope. I must not fall apart. I must not become a burden. And that belief can become incredibly exhausting. The hidden burden is not the responsibility itself. The hidden burden is believing you must carry it alone. How the strong one identity develops. The question is not whether you became strong. The question is why. Very few people wake up one morning and decide to become emotionally self sufficient. More often, strength develops as an adaptation, a survival strategy, a response to circumstances. Many strong people grew up in environments where vulnerability felt unsafe. Perhaps emotions were dismissed. Perhaps conflict was common. Perhaps there was instability, criticism, neglect, illness, addiction, financial hardship, or emotional unpredictability. The child quickly learns something important. If I stay strong, things feel safer. If I stay useful, I am valued. If I take care of others, I belong. Over time, the nervous system becomes conditioned to remain alert, responsible, and emotionally available to everyone else. Yet, very little attention is given to the individual's own emotional needs. This patterns this pattern often follows people into child adulthood. They become the reliable employee, the dependable manager, the responsible parent, the supportive partner, the successful business owner, the trusted friend. People admire their strength, but beneath that strength often exists a quieter truth, a fear of disappointing others, a fear of letting people down, a fear of appearing weak. Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. The challenge for many strong people is that they became who others needed them to be long before they discovered who they truly were. And that is where the burden begins. You may be the strong one if many people do not recognize themselves as the strong one. They simply think, this is who I am. Yet there are common patterns. You may be the strong one if people regularly come to you for emotional support, but you rarely ask for support yourself. You may be the strong one if you feel guilty resting while others still need help. You may be the strong one if asking for help feels uncomfortable. You may be the strong one if you minimize your own struggles because other people have it worse. You may be the strong one if you feel responsible for everyone's well being. You may be the strong one if you often say, I'll deal with it. It's fine. Don't worry about me. I've got this. Even when internally you are exhausted. Many high achievers become experts at appearing calm while privately struggling. Many leaders become experts at projecting confidence while carrying enormous pressure. Many carers become experts at supporting others while neglecting themselves. The strongest people often become very skilled at hiding pain, not because they are dishonest, because they believe that staying strong is their responsibility. But eventually, the mass becomes heavy, and carrying it every day requires energy, a great deal of energy. The hidden cost, what nobody talks about. There is a cost of being the strong one. Within the strong outside, empty inside framework, the strong one identity is the first pillar because many of the struggles people experience later in life often begin here. A cost that often goes unnoticed because the world rewards strength. It celebrates productivity, achievement, leadership, resilience, success. But the world rarely discusses is the emotional price. Many strong people quietly experience loneliness, not because they are alone, because they feel unseen. Many experience emotional exhaustion, not because they are weak, because they have been carrying too much for too long. Many experience resentment, not because they do not care about others, because they have forgotten how to care for themselves. Many experience burnout, emotional numbness, disconnection, difficulty receiving support, difficulty trusting others, difficulty even relaxing. Their nervous system becomes accustomed to responsibility. Even rest begins to feel uncomfortable. The tragic irony is that strong people often become trapped by the very qualities that once protected them. The strength that helped them survive can eventually prevent them from healing. As Brené Brown wisely observed, we cannot selectively numb emotions. When we suppress pain, we often suppress joy, connection, peace, and fulfillment as well. The hidden burden is not merely carrying responsibility. The hidden burden is believing that your worth depends upon carrying it. And that belief can slowly become one of the heaviest burdens a person will ever carry. The CEO nobody worried about. Let me tell you about someone I will call Michael. Michael was the CEO of a successful company. From the outside, his life looked impressive: a beautiful home, a successful business, a respected reputation, a strong marriage, financial security. People admired him, employees trusted him, clients respected him. His family relied on him. Everyone believed Michael had everything under control. What nobody saw was what happened after the meetings ended. What nobody saw was the exhaustion, the loneliness, the constant pressure, the feeling that everyone needed something from him. For years, Michael had become the person who solved problems. Whenever there was a crisis, he stepped forward. Whenever someone struggled, he offered support. Whenever there was uncertainty, he projected confidence. But eventually, he realized something painful. He had built a life where everybody knew who he could do. Very few people knew how he felt. One evening, sitting alone in his office, after everyone had gone to home, he asked himself a question. If I stop being useful tomorrow, who would still see me? That question changed everything because beneath the success was a man who had spent decades carrying responsibility while neglecting his own emotional needs. Michael's story is not unusual. It is the story of many leaders, many parents, many carers, many helpers, many strong people. The story is different. The burden is often the same. How to put down the burden? Healing does not mean becoming weak. Healing means becoming whole. Many strong people fear that if they stop carrying everything, everything will fall apart. But healing is not about abandoning responsibility, it is about creating balance. The first step is awareness, recognizing the role you have been playing, recognizing how much pressure you have been carrying, recognizing that strength and self sacrifice are not the same thing. The second step is permission. Give yourself permission to have needs, permission to feel tired, permission to ask for support, permission to rest, permission to be human. The third step is boundaries. Healthy boundaries are not selfish, they are protective. They allow you to care for others without abandoning yourself. The fourth step is connection. Strong people often spend years supporting others. Healing requires learning how to receive support as well. Not just giving, but receiving as well. And finally comes self worth. Learning that your value is not determined by how much you carry. Your worth does not come from fixing everyone else's problems. Your worth exists because you exist. That's right. Your worth exists because you exist. As psychologist Rogers said, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. Healing begins when you stop earning your worth through suffering. A conversation with yourself. With yourself. I would like to leave you with a few questions. Not questions to answer immediately, questions to sit with, questions to reflect upon. Ask yourself, when did I first learn that I needed to be strong? Who taught me that lesson? Was strength something I chose or something I needed for survival? What happens inside me when I need help? Do I ask for it or do I convince myself that I should handle everything alone? What am I afraid would happen if I stop being strong all the time? Would people reject me? Would people be disappointed? Would I feel guilty? Or would I finally feel free? Who takes care of the person who takes care of other or everyone else? Who supports the supporter? Who listens to the listener? Who notices the strong one? And perhaps the most important questions of all, do I believe I am worthy of love, care, and support even when I am not being useful? Because the answer to that question often reveals the deepest part of the burden. And sometimes it reveals the beginning of healing. Take a moment to reflect on your answers. You may wish to write your responses in a journal and notice what emotions, thoughts, or memories arise. For workshop participants, take 5 minutes to quietly reflect and write your answers before moving on. Remember, awareness is often the first step towards healing and change. You were never meant to carry everything alone. If today's message resonated with you, I want you to hear this clearly. You were never meant to carry everything alone. You were never meant to be everyone's source of strength while having nowhere to place your own burdens. You were never meant to earn love through sacrifice. You were never meant to prove your worth through exhaustion. Strength is a beautiful quality, but strength without support eventually becomes suffering. The strongest people are not those who will never need help. The strongest people are those who have the courage to acknowledge when they do. If you recognize yourselves in today's conversation, please remember, you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to be human. And perhaps most importantly, you are allowed to be supported too. And this is why the strong one identity forms the foundation of the strong outside, empty inside framework. The strong one identity is often only the beginning. Many people later discover deeper patterns beneath the surface, including the unloved wound, the overgiver pattern, the emotional burnout cycle, and the fear of abandonment. Within the strong outside, empty inside framework, these patterns often work together, influencing how we see ourselves, relate to others, and navigate life's challenges. Understanding these patterns is not about labeling yourself, it is about developing greater self awareness, self compassion, and creating opportunities for healing and growth. Because healing begins when we recognize that strength does not require self sacrifice and resilience does not require carrying everything alone. As we continue building the strong outside, empty inside framework here at Holistic Heart Counseling, remember this: together we are building a path from survival towards healing, self understanding, and emotional freedom. Real strength is not carrying everything, real strength is knowing when you no longer need to carry it alone. Thank you for spending this time with me. My name is Uzma, the Holistic Heart Counseling, and until next time, please take care of yourself with the same compassion you so freely give to others. If today's conversation spoke to something inside you, if you have spent years being the strong one, if you have achieved success but still feel emotionally exhausted, then remember you do not have to carry everything alone. And healing begins the moment you become honest about what you have been carrying. If you would like to continue this journey, I have written a book called Why You Feel Empty Even When You Are Strong, where I explore these patterns in much greater depth. You will find the link in the description below. Until next time, take care of yourself with the same compassion you so freely give to everyone else. Please watch my next video, When Everyone Depends on You. Before you leave, I would like to invite you to continue this journey with me. If today's conversation resonated with you, then the next video is in the Strong Outside, Empty Inside series is especially important. It's called When Everyone Depends on You. Many people who feel emotionally empty are not weak. In fact, they are often the strongest people in the room. They are the ones everyone calls during a crisis, the ones who solve problems, the ones who hold families together, the ones who carry responsibilities nobody else sees. And over time, something dangerous can happen. You become as focused on supporting everyone else that you forget how to support yourself. You become everyone's safe place while having nowhere safe to rest yourself. In my next video, we will explore the hidden emotional cost of being the person everyone relies on. We will look at why so many capable, responsible, and successful people feel trapped by the expectations placed upon them. And most importantly, we will discuss how to begin creating healthier boundaries without losing your compassion, your leadership, or your sense of purpose. If that sounds familiar, click on the next video now. And if you are finding value in this series, please subscribe to Holistic Heart Counseling. My mission is simple: to help strong people stop suffering in silence. I will see you in the next video, when everyone depends on you.